Well, yeah, what I was saying, and I stand by, is that compared to all of the crises happening in the country, right? Kids, and moms can't buy baby formula for their children. We have a terrible inflation crisis. We have a fentanyl crisis that's killing hundreds of thousands of people. My point is and remains that you can accept that what's going on in Ukraine is a very serious tragedy at a personal level, while also thinking that the focus of American policymakers should be on the problems here at home. And I think we have to be careful about letting the Biden administration off the hook, right? They're spending so much focus, and the media is spending so much focus on Ukraine, that they're not talking enough about the inflation problem. We're not talking enough about the border problem. And I actually think that Biden likes that because it distracts from his own failures right here at home.
So the House of Representatives recently passed additional funding and aid for Ukraine for $40 billion. Again, that heads to the Senate and then essentially to the president's desk. If you were serving in the Senate now, how would you vote on that legislation?
Well, what I've said here is that I don't think that we should be spending any more money unless it's on America's problems here at home. So I would make any additional aid for the Ukrainians conditional on sending money to the American southern border, on actually trying to fix this terrible shortage of baby formula and hospital supplies. I really don't think that we have the resources here to spend a ton of additional money on a problem in Ukraine that is tragic. And I'm not doubting that it's tragic, but I don't think that it's as much of a concern as problems closer to home. So I'd like to see American leaders focus on our problems, and that's what I do in the U.S. Senate.
Senator Mitch McConnell, though, says the war in Ukraine, in his opinion, is what he thinks America's top priorities are right now. Americans, that's their top priority. What do you say to that?
I don't think that's right. At the end of the day, I think that our top priorities are all of the economic problems that we have here at home. I mean, think about the number of, the people being killed in the Ukraine. Of course, it's very tragic. Over 100,000 people died of drug overdoses, and most of those drugs it's Chinese fentanyl coming across the Mexican border into our country. So I think the problems that we have here in the United States are much bigger priorities for our people, and certainly would be bigger priorities for me when I got to the U.S. Senate.
Let me talk to you about some other news that's impacting Americans right now. This is all stemming back to that draft leak. The opinion, essentially, from Justice Alito having to do with the possibility of overturning Roe v. Wade. Your opponent, Congressman Tim Ryan, has an opinion on that. He sent out this tweet. He calls for codifying, essentially, Roe v. Wade, saying it's reproductive freedom or it's the filibuster. The choice is clear. We must end the filibuster, codify a woman's rights to choose. Proud to add my name to the effort. He wants to end the filibuster, again, essentially, in order to keep the right to an abortion in place. How would you vote if you were in that situation?
Well, I certainly would not have voted to codify Roe versus Wade. And I think we have to step back and say, Tim Ryan is one of the most radical people on abortion running for American political office today. He's defended abortion on demand up to 40 weeks. That is something that's out of step with the values of Ohio, but it's frankly out of the step with the values of very liberal countries in Europe that have much stricter abortion restrictions than even Tim Ryan would support. I mean, we have to be honest about the fact that, look, I'm 100% pro-life. I can accept that people can agree to disagree on where to draw the line here. That's fine. What isn't fine is this incredible barbarism that the modern Democrat Party is defending: abortion up to 40 weeks, throwing out the filibuster to codify Roe. That's something that, by the way, even Joe Manchin, Democrat from West Virginia, voted against. It's pretty bizarre to think that an Ohio Democrat would support legislation that would be radical even in Europe, and is certainly radical to Democrat Joe Manchin in West Virginia.
Let me ask you about the gas prices that Americans are facing. A record high this morning, in case you were looking to fill up your tank. The national average, again, $4.42 a gallon, according to AAA. But it does come as President Biden had canceled oil and gas lease sales in Alaska and the Gulf of Mexico. And then a lot of Americans wondering, perhaps, when will this relief come? When could we see the prices fall? CNN spoke to an analyst who essentially said the national average could hit $4.50 a gallon or higher this summer, again, just ahead of summer travel. JD, if you were in the Senate, again, as you are clearly running for it, what would you recommend to this administration to really help Americans as they struggle to pay to fill up their tanks? What could be done to offer some relief?
Well, Joe Biden has to stop being willing to buy gasoline from Vladimir Putin and buy it from the mullahs of Iran. He's got to be willing to buy it from Southeastern Ohio workers because it's cleaner here, it's much safer here, and it actually employs our people and gives us energy independence. This administration has pursued very anti-American energy policies. We have to stop the ESG mandates that make it hard for people to invest in oil and gas right here at home. We need, in short, to become energy independent. And the fact that Tim Ryan has voted with Joe Biden 100% of the time is further evidence that while he may be appealing to a far left segment of the Democrat Party, he's actually not serving or trying to serve to represent the people of Ohio. He's serving Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, and that's not what's been good. I mean, look, we've seen what's happened. I'm a Republican. He's a Democrat. It's fine if we disagree, but after 2 years, we should all be willing to accept that Joe Biden's policies are not good for this country. We shouldn't be doubling down on them. We should be going in a different direction.
All right. And we'll be watching and waiting to see how the people of Ohio vote come November. JD Vance joining us this morning, though. JD, thanks so much. We appreciate it.